Okay, I'm gonna come clean. I didn't watch that many shows this year. I still watched enough to fill the best and worst list, but only just barely. Going into 2025, I hope to not have this issue again and to watch more shows. With all that being said, let's get into the best and worst shows of 2024. So, this entry is going to be weird because I don't actually think that this is a bad show, but I needed one more to round out the bottom 5, and because I didn't watch that many shows this year, it looks like Batman Caped Crusader is getting the short end of the stick. This show was one I was looking forward to, but ended up underdelivering with some poor storytelling decisions. I don't think this is a bad show, but I don't think it's particularly a good show either, which is why it's only at number 5. I mean, to be honest, this show really shouldn't even be on this list, but the remaining 4, however, definitely should. I may have my issues with it, but Invincible Season 2 still managed to keep me on board. While I've talked about how this season does certain things better and worse than the first season, that does mean that its quality is still pretty high, with it maintaining its interesting characters and their dynamics that make it well worth watching. Why do some shows name themselves after a character and then proceed to place that same character on the bench for most of the show? I personally hate it when shows do this, and sadly, Knuckles is one of the biggest offenders. It's a slow and overall not entertaining mess that honestly is the most boring show I saw this year. While Knuckles has certain parts that show creativity and have fun with what's given, it only does this in swift bursts that only make up a fraction of the show, which made this a pain to watch. A show that I wasn't expecting to be on this list, but ended up being way better than I thought it was going to be. Fallout is an amazing adaptation. It feels like the showrunners put the games to the screen. Fallout has mostly great visuals, satisfying action, and a story that really caught my attention in a way I didn't expect it to. The actors also greatly elevate the show, with great performances by Walton Goggins and Ella Purnell, and overall, Fallout really impressed me, which puts it at the number 4 spot. Since the release of this show, I have warmed up to the MonsterVerse with the release of Godzilla x Kong, but before that, there was Monarch, a sloppy mess of a show that feels like some other generic show with the Godzilla name slapped on. I'm glad that the MonsterVerse has finally found its footing, but sadly, this show is the last reminder of what it used to be, a melodramatic, gray mess. These next 3 shows are the absolute best of the best, and I couldn't ask for a more pleasant surprise this year than Shogun, a dramatic, emotional, and engaging show with great cinematography, action, characters, and performances that all lead to this being one of the most memorable shows of this year. If you haven't seen this yet, well, honestly, I don't blame you considering it's on Hulu of all things, but I highly recommend you do if you're looking for a new show to get invested in. I wouldn't blame you if you forgot that this show even came out this year, but unfortunately, it did. Halo Season 2 does fix a few issues that Season 1 had, but that doesn't help it out much. It still features the same boring story, uninteresting characters, and a poor utilization of a great franchise. Hopefully this show will be a lesson to other studios making video game adaptations that you should probably get people who actually played the game to adapt it. But I think we all know that that's unlikely. Arcane is one of the greatest animated television series ever made, and while Season 2 isn't as good as the first, it still manages to offer up amazing looking animation, interesting characters, and a groundbreaking story. Sadly, that story, while great, features certain issues regarding pacing, but honestly, if Season 2 didn't have that one flaw, then this would probably be my favorite show of 2024, but unfortunately, it just barely missed the top spot. I don't think there was a more clear choice for the worst than The Acolyte. Another poor entry in the Star Wars franchise, which I thought was already as dead as it could be, but I guess I thought wrong. It's a show with awful characters, performances, and story that will forever be a reminder that just when you think something can't stoop any lower, it can. The thing is, I don't want to dislike any of the new Star Wars projects. The reason I'm so critical of them is because I genuinely love Star Wars and want to see it improve, but besides a few projects here and there, Unless Disney drastically changes the way they handle Star Wars, it looks like that's not going to happen anytime soon. There was one show this year that I was looking forward to more than any other, and luckily this show both met and exceeded my expectations. The Penguin features everything I could ever want in a show. Amazingly written and memorable characters, a story with twists and turns that always stays interesting, and a fantastic sense of world building that all comes together to create an unforgettable show. It makes me really excited for the future of this version of Gotham, even if we have to wait a little longer for anything new. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next video should be... I'm actually unsure what my next video is going to be, but it's definitely going to be a review, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn on notifications and check out my other videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.